you very much for coming. It's interesting, the Year of Dragon, where we are halfway through the year already. We're in the midst of some pretty soft performance. Having a look a little bit further, drilling down into Vietnam's macro itself. Again, 6.4, pretty nice GDP growth in the overall context of global competitiveness. State Bank of Vietnam's done a wonderful job in propping up the exchange rate over a long period. So a couple of things on FDI. First of all, it does look as though we're way behind the mark for this part of the year at 13.5. You'll see the evolution of the Vietnamese manufacturing moving towards these higher tech industries. Those higher tech industries are really good for industrial demand. Now, there's a whole lot of economic studies you can read about the value added of infrastructure against GDP. Vietnam's been at 6s and 7s promised for quite some time. And remember, infrastructure has the greatest opportunity to change value arrangement and change land use, the amended land laws. And so this will really help infrastructure development, broader property industry as well. Things for the future, and not least, is the land law and the mechanisms around it. And so allocated land, traditional allocated land, we're moving away from allocated land, which is very good for development, by the way, but we're now moving to this market principle framework. And that means that there should be far more even playing ground. We should be able to have compensation and clearance more effectively. That means we should have master plans approved quicker, which we should also have infrastructure driven forward. All of these things opening up are the principles behind these amendments on these land laws.
But the good news is the door tourists have fully recovered and will continue to grow to support the market. Another good signal for hospitality market, we can see that from coastal market like Canh Hoa and Da Nang, they got wonderful recovery of international tourists in the first half this year. So with this recovery, we can see that these markets have recovered and we will expect further improvement in the upcoming time. So till the next 3 years, the future supply of apartments will continue to be small. So with this small supply, the primary price is forecast to remain high. So the reason for the small future supply is the slow development approval process and legal issues that block off the future pipeline. Therefore, any developer who can launch their project will be in a very good position.
A highlight of office market is the green stock when it has become mandatory to the many MNCs. Meanwhile, in developed markets like Singapore, Shanghai, Hong Kong, the ratio of green stock together with the large amount of space is quite greater than that is of Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, when the ratio is less than 25% and the future supply is increasing quite marginally. So what are the highlights of the retail market in Vietnam? F&B tenants are driving expansion demand. This is what we can see with our own eyes, where expansion of all types of F&B formats across the market, from fast food, cafe, drinks, bar and clubs, casual to fine dining. So in this playground, it has become more and more crowded with both local and international players. On a smaller scale, we see lifestyle, sports and wellness trades being quite active in the market.
Looking to the future, 2033, this is from Impact's the Savills magazines. This covers a whole raft of different subjects. But Impact's, one of the really cool things that came out is the growth hubs, top 15. And we can see that Ho Chi Minh City is number 2 in the growth hubs to 2033. So some cause for optimism there. Have a look at that, see how it's all ranked. It's all about wealth, innovation, technology, some of the others, population, future dependency ratio. We're starting to get towards our peak acceleration and it will slow off, but there is still, we're looking at 50% by 2035, something like that. So there is still a long way to go in urbanising Vietnam, the shift from the country to the city. Vietnam is a little bit different, it's laid out a little bit differently, it's a little bit more tangled, there's a little bit more administration, all sorts of other things. That's cool, but there is still a long way to go on the urbanisation story for Vietnam.